At the same time, I know like I'm doubting myself and I'm this like maybe what they are saying is right. I've slept with people who have STD. I've slept with many women, and maybe people say in about 10 Kenyans, one or two have HIV. Hello, good people. Welcome to yet another episode of Kelvin Angote Show. I've been away for quite some time, and I remember when I created this channel, my aim, or rather my objective, was to make people learn through this channel, learn a lot of things about life by bringing people on this channel to be able to make us learn a thing or two about life. Also, it was about speaking life into your lives, making you understand that there are some things that happen in the lives of people like me and you that a million others are going through, so that we try to reduce or rather eradicate things to do with suicide, depression, stress, and all the bad things that are happening around the world. So, good people, today I'm not going to go into much details. What I'm just going to request you is to subscribe, like, comment, and share this content so that it can reach a wide audience, Yeah, so I'm going to go direct into today's story because today I'm the host and I'm the guest. And I feel like my story, good people, before I woke up today, or rather maybe when I woke up today, I just felt like facing the camera and speaking to someone because it is a story that I have been thinking about for a long time, and it's something that almost took me to grave, or rather, let me just say it took me to grave and I came back to life. I know you've heard stories about me. I know you've had naysayers, or rather rumor mongers, trying to preach stories about me, stories that try to taint my reputation, stories that try to soil the little reputation that I have. But today, I'm going to clear the air, make you understand where the stories come from and where the stories end. Today, I'm going to talk about my experience with HIV and AIDS. You heard me right? Yeah, my experience with HIV. So, the year is 1998 when I first came to this world. After a few years, I went to nursery school, primary school, then secondary school, and secondary school is where my story begins. Now, it happened that after finishing class 8, that is primary school, in the 844 system, I felt like, of course, I got letters from Ebubai Secondary School, I got letters from Ebunangwe, I got letters from Msire High School, I got letters from many schools around in Bunyore and Vihiga County. I decided that I'm not going to join any of those schools because I felt like I need to join a school where I can have company, I can have people. We've come from the same primary or maybe from the same area, because I had this thing that if I join a school where there's no one who knows me, I might end up being mistreated or harassed, bullied. So I decided that I'm going to join Kaimosi Boys High School. Reason? Already studying in Kaimosi Boys, and also there are people from this primary school who are joining me, who are accompanying me to the same Kaimosi Boys High School. I decided to join Kaimosi Boys High School because of the reasons that I've just provided. Going there was like I was expecting it's going to be a walk in the park now that I have friends from the same area. I have friends I'm going to meet there, of course, and I'm just going to have an easy time in high school. But to my surprise, when we got there, the second year, that is in Form 2, the rumors, or rather, uh, how could I put this? Like the things that I heard from people were astonishing. You hear people talking about things that happen at home. People could come and talk about things, very bad things that I cannot even talk before this camera. And that is how I know a good number of you who are watching me, if you get a job, I know you'd even be ready to offer the job to someone who is very far, who is not known to you, rather than connecting someone from your neighborhood or from your home area. Reason? These people have a way of carrying things or maybe coming up with rumors that are going to soil your reputation. They are going to destroy your reputation, the little reputation that you have built over time in that office, in that organization. They are going to make sure they make it bad for you to a point that you will not be able even to survive in that work environment. So back to my story. In this Kaimosi Boys, my life became so hard starting from Form 2 to Form 4. And one thing I want you to know is that I was a performer. I was a top achiever. I was always among the top 3. My classmates can confirm this. But I know where the rain started beating. When we go to Form 3, of course, I'm going to one day bring this story. I started sneaking out of school, going to buy mandazi, come to school, sell. Yeah, so I was so much into business, but if you ask me if that money helped me, never. These guys from Kibera, I have a story to tell. So fast forward, these guys started spreading stories that to my friends, of course, from other parts, Kaimosi made me meet people from Mombasa, meet people from Kisumu, meet people from Nairobi, and I was just a guy from Bunyore, the reggae or the Jamaica land. So these guys could spot potential friends, potential, company, potential uh, friends who are ready to be with me. These guys could go to those guys and try to paint a picture that is not good about me. And that's how I made myself like I could lose friends each and every time. Fast forward, I did not have a friend in high school. Of course, I had few, but they were not that close because these are just people who are like, let's just associate with him, but we have been told stories about this guy and there's no way we are going to trust him. It's going to maybe infect us the same thing. The thing is, they went and started spreading stories about witchcraft. That was not enough. Some even started spreading stories about, this Kelvin guy has HIV. So there were guys who could even come inspecting my box if there's any signs of maybe ARVs. My people, there's nothing bad like stigmatization, but your guy here, I suffered it. So all along in high school, I was this guy who was known like I have HIV. Fast forward to campus, I learned my lesson. I went to a campus and I made sure there are no these home area guys. So let me just be in a campus somewhere where there's nothing going to maybe act as a barrier between me and my education. something that is going to cause distraction. You know, I don't like such things, you know. So I learned my lesson. But after campus, coming back to the community, anytime you are going to approach a girl, I approach this first girl. Of course, I've dated a good number. I prefer to treat that as confidential, you know. So fast forward, I approached this girl from Ebsiloli. This girl but this girl was still going to school, you know, was in Form 4. But then she was on Facebook, and you know, on Facebook we tried to talk and we got along. So this girl comes to Eldoret. When I was in Eldoret, of course, I was doing some business. At the same time, doing attachment in Eldoret Water and Sanitation Company, that is Eldoas. I have some good friends in Eldoas. So this girl comes to Eldoret, of course, to spend the weekend there. We spend the weekend, you know what happens. And then this girl goes back. It was on Sunday evening. Monday, she has to go back to school. So it happens that when she goes back to school, she starts narrating the story to friends that there's this guy in Eldoret I met. He gave me money. He did this. He treated me like this, you know. And the guys that she is narrating the story to, the guys told her, if you have done the act with this guy, start counting your days. If you have slept with this Kelvin guy, start counting your days. So this girl, who was so much excited of meeting governor, as the people of my area, or rather in Kenya, call me, this girl decides to shrink. It's like, what have I just done to myself? The girl could not wait for the evening bell to go home. The girl calls me and starts throwing all form of insults on me. How dare, how evil are you to do this to an innocent person like me? How could you? I was like, what have I done? Like, Kevin, you know you have HIV and you decide to pass the same to me. Kevin, you have said you love me. How could you do this to me? My good people, I told you the guy, or rather the girl, shrank when she had stories from those guys. But now when she's telling me these things, I also found myself dumbfounded. I was speechless, and I did not know at what point should I approach this matter. Remember, this is a guy who is afraid of going for a HIV test. I know you have interacted with a good number of guys and they have told you, or you know, it's not easy for a man to go for that test. So I'm one of those guys. I'm not an exception. By then, for now, if you come, I'm gonna give you my finger and you're gonna do the test that you want. But by then, I was this guy who could not go for a HIV test. So I'm like, how am I going to prove to this girl that I don't have HIV? And if I have, I don't know I have, because I have never gone to test. You know what the guys told the girl? That this guy has been born with HIV and the guy has been on medication ever since. So I'm like, the only way that I can make this lady believe is to call for a test. But if I tell you I was ready for a test, I could be lying, because I was never ready for a test. I was not ready to know myself. So what did I do? I used reverse psychology. So I told this lady, lucky enough, she was also afraid of the test. I told her, I'm taking a bus tomorrow to Bunyore to meet you, and we have to go for that test. And one thing I'm going to do, tell the guy who told you that I have this disease to come along, so that as I'm going to take that test, you and the other guy also take the test. That's how I found myself out of that trap. The girl was not ready. And the girl told me, we can do it when you come. No need to rush. I already trust you. I said, it's okay. And I did not ask for a test again. If I tell you it ends there, it's a lie. So another day, another good day, I approach another lady just some few kilometers from Ebusiloli, that is Mwilonje. This lady had a good body, a figure that all men around the world would want to have, would want their girls to have. So I go to this lady and I try to open up about what I feel about her. The lady tells me she's okay and we can groove this together. The lady showed effort, the lady was good, and one thing I can say for sure, the lady loved me. The only thing, before I could sleep with this lady, this one I did not sleep with her because I'm going to give you a reason. The rumor mongers went and told her, the guy you are dating has HIV. So she came to me and told me, I've been told you have HIV and there's no reason to continue. Now, when you have fucked a lady, at least you can talk, but you have not fucked her and she has been told. So what makes you think you can convince her? She has been given reasons and you are this guy who is very thin, the symptoms are all over. You are thin, you are dark, the weight loss is very clear. They can see, So I'm like, how am I going to convince my Juliet that I am negative? Hey, I did not even spend 2 nights. Another guy comes to me and tells me, you see the lady you are trying to seduce has HIV. So they are telling her I have HIV. At the same time, I'm being told she has HIV. I had reasons to believe because she also, the symptoms were clear. So I also left her. I did not find any reason to continue. I said, maybe it was never meant to be. Good people, I don't want to give all the stories about the ladies I've met and the ladies, even in campus when I thought that I'm running away from people who spread bad things about me. Even in campus, this HIV thing was there. Even the people who have HIV feared me. It's like I had, maybe my viral load was on another level. So, good people, I had to keep on trying my luck on different girls, different women. If I tell you I've dated single mothers, I've dated, it got to a point I could date anyone. I remember there was this day, I dated a lady, and this lady, I approached the lady today, and the same day we get to my house and the act happens. I had every reason to spot the red flags. I had every reason to convince myself that this lady has something and has nothing to lose, not even his health. So, oh my good. I was in a crowd, or rather in a sitting of men, and the lady happens to pass. And these men, they have no idea that I have been there. So they start talking about the lady. They say, this lady has been dating people who have HIV, has been going to sleep in disco matanga, that is funerals, has been laid by everyone, drunkards, witch doctors, and all kinds of people. And I'm there trying to think, like, do these people know that I've been there? I've slept with this lady. But I'm like, let me just keep it to myself. So it happens. They are talking about it, and I slept with the lady yesterday. Maybe let's just yesternight, And we are talking about the midday of this following day. Good people, in the evening, I'm going to urinate, and I find my penis. Oh my goodness, I have gonorrhea. I'm finding difficulties in urinating. So the signs come, like these people were talking about that lady. And here I have this STD. So in one way or another, they are right. So I've been walking around, people trying to say I have HIV, but me myself, I've never gone for a test. I don't know about myself. Maybe they are right, maybe they are wrong. But now here, I've gone to sleep with a woman. I have STD, and there are guys here talking about the same woman having HIV. So I'm like, they are right. If this lady indeed has a STD, these guys have not slept with the lady. But I have evidence, I can see STDs here. Then it means my life, this is the end. So I went to Esibuye. Of course, there's a pharmacist there called Ben Care, of course. And Ben treats me and asked me if I can take a HIV test, and my answer was clear, no. Asked me why I don't want. I said, I have my own reasons as to why I don't want that test. So it's like, it's good when you have STD to also take a HIV test, and it's only 500 Kenyan shillings. So I resisted. Ben told me, we are going to do it for free. I said, no, Mr. Ben, I don't want a HIV test. So Ben had no reason to continue asking me for a test. He did what brought me there, and I left the facility. I went home after 2 days. My health was restored. But then I know STD can be treated. What about HIV? Maybe I have it. But good people, I just want you to understand all these stories, all these doubts, all these symptoms that I'm going to Google, trying to Google signs and symptoms of HIV. All these things are happening when I have never tested and I don't know about myself. Even the guys who are saying I'm on medication, I was not on any medication. I was just there, like good number of you. I know most of you have never gone for that test and you don't even want to know. But all along, you have never been sick. That was my life. I have never been sick, not even malaria, not even coughing, not even cold or flu or anything. I've never visited a hospital. All that time, I started visiting hospital recently when it came to matters going abroad, go do some medication here and there. Of course, to get a work visa abroad, sometimes you have to go for those medicals, yeah. So, good people all along. And then the doubt continued. So I was like, I'll never test myself for HIV. At the same time, I know, like, I'm doubting myself and I'm this, like, maybe what they are saying is right. I've slept with people who have STD. I've slept with many women, and maybe people say in about 10 Kenyans, 1 or 2 have HIV. So if I've slept with over, let me not count the number, if I've slept with this number of women, every 10 Kenyans, there's a possibility of having 2 who are positive. So I look at the number of women I've slept with, and I'm fully convinced that I have HIV. Good people, if I'm told to go and address or speak to people, my first line would be, go and take that test. I was so afraid. I never wanted to take a test. But then life came calling. I have suffered. I went to Gikomba, did some business. I got a loan, got a motorbike, gave to someone, get some few commission in the evening. And all this time, I'm going through life. I'm facing it rough in life. But I'm this guy who has a smile, meet people. When you go to somewhere, people are going through stuff, you take some money, if it is 1,500, and I help. So these people are not able to know that also Kelvin is going through some stuff. I was going through scarcity, good people. I had nothing. I had little, not even enough for myself. That's why I never had an idea of getting married in the first place. So it gets to a point, my brother and my sister, who are in China by then, they tell me, Calvin, we need you to come this side of the world, that is China. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. So the first thing they tell me, you have to go for medicals. Of course, my sister has been telling me in calls that, Kelvin, you need to take care of your body, because if you are dreaming of coming abroad, you need to be very clean. Not clean, don't clean your body. I mean clean health-wise. So I'm like, does she know I have HIV? Does she know everyone in the world knows that I have HIV? She has no idea. But then I was like, why is she reminding me every time I need to take care of my body? Does she know something that I don't know? Then I was like, let me not overthink. So when they insisted that I have to go to China, my response, if I tell you, was yes, I would be lying. I told them, wait a little bit. I took my friend, who happens to be my cousin brother, called Jaskaka, Jasmo Sihule. Many of you know him, Jasi, Jaskaka. Yeah, I know a good number of women, a good number of men. You know the guy. I took him and I told him, let's go to Emuhaya Hospital. When we go to the gate of Emuhaya, I told him, don't enter the gate. Let's go to Maseno. Reason, if I go to Emuhaya, many people from my home come to this hospital, and maybe if I test positive, they are going to see my name in that book and it's going to be a talk in the town. So we happen to go further to Maseno Hospital. A good number of you know Maseno. I know most of you have gone to Maseno University. So this time I was going to Maseno Hospital, not to be treated, not to be checked anything, but just to confirm myself. Did I tell my sister I'm going? No. Did I tell my brother I'm going? No. How much money do I have in my pocket? 200 Kenyan shillings. Oh my goodness. I get to Maseno and I tell this friend of mine, you can leave, I'll contact you when I'm done. Of course, my friend respects and leaves. So I did not go direct to the VCT. I went and sat down a tree and asked myself if I'm ready for what is about to happen, of course, the HIV test. I sat there for 3 good hours. The next thing that happened, I told myself, if bad, bad. So I went to VCT and there were people at the bench there waiting to be given medicine, of course. So I walked in and there was no one in. There was only the doctor, a woman, of course. I sat there and she asked me my name. I told her Kelvin Angote. She asked my age. By then I was 25. Where I come from, I told her. She asked me what I need there. I said, I don't need medicine. I have come for a HIV test. So she tells me, why do you want to test? Of course, it was kind of an obvious answer. So I was like, I've come for a test because I want to know about my health. When was the last time you tested? 3 months ago. Have you slept with anyone in these 3 months? Yes, I've slept with 6 women. Of course, she laughed. If you believe that I took a test in the last 3 months, then no. I've never taken a HIV test. But I had to lie. So she told me, what if you have HIV? I was like, I'll just accept and take medicine. Okay, so she told me some few words there of which I would not want to go into fine details. Of course, you guys, when you go for that test, they are going to talk to you, they are going to ask you some questions. So the conversation took about 10 minutes and then I stretched my finger for a test. The next thing that happened, after the test, they put it there, then she went to her phone. She put the test far away from me. Good people, I was sweating. The body was watery. I was wet. The next thing that happened, she took it, looked at it, and started writing. Of course, you know what was going through my mind. So I told this lady, can I see it? She showed me and told me, what can you see? I said, I can see one line. What does it mean? She said, you are negative. You are safe. Really? I jumped up. I screamed, thank you, doctor. Thank you, Dr. Asante. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you. I appreciated the doctor and I took the 200 that I had in my wallet and gave to the doctor. I appreciated, I hugged her, I jumped, I did all the funny things that I could do in that room. And the doctor was like, what is happening? All the people that have come to this place tested negative. They have never had the same excitement that you have. What is happening? I told the doctor, you don't know. I have never tested in my life. I lied to you. And all along, there have been rumors that I have HIV. People have made me a slave. They have said, they have spread rumors about my life. They have said that I have HIV, and to a point that I had lost hope in life. Of course, today I was just coming to confirm if I'm positive so that I can go and commit suicide. The doctor hugged me, pressed me, and told me, "You are going to live. You are not going to die." I left that facility when I am rejuvenated, when I felt like I'm born again, when I felt like the whole world belongs to me. I felt like I'm going to be anyone in this world. I felt like I'm going to be the president of Kenya. I felt like I'm going to rule the world. Good people, there's nothing that can match the excitement that I had. Not even my first flight, not even coming to China, not even touching 1 million, not even having good friends, not even having a very beautiful woman. No amount of excitement could match the excitement that I had the day I went for that HIV test and I was told, "You are negative, you are going to live." And all those who have been spreading rumors about your life, they are going to be embarrassed. They are going to be ashamed. They are going to lack stories, because all along you have been giving them stories, but today they are not going to have a story to tell. They are going to be embarrassed, and to whoever they are going to say their stories to, they'll have to find a way to go to the same people and convince them otherwise. Good people, I left that hospital when I felt like anything is possible. I felt like I'm going to be the man that I've always wanted to be. Good people, before this test, I had known that I'm never going to have a family. I have known that I'm never going to have any generation after me. But when I left this facility, I started seeing having sons, having daughters, of course, by now I don't have any son, I don't have any daughter, but I left that facility knowing that I'm going to have children who are going to rule this world. And anytime you are going to see my face in the leadership of this country called Kenya, just know that this person was a slave. Good people, I told you before I started this story, I told you that I'm this person who died and came back to life. I died in a way that I was walking, but deep down I knew everything is finished. There's no need to invest. Why am I investing? Whom am I investing for? Because I can not have children after all. After all, I have HIV. Good people, if you are there and you are thinking about your life, you have given up, that there's nothing good that can happen to you because of the rumors that you have heard about yourself, I challenge you to go for that HIV test. I challenge you to start that business. If they said you are never going to have any business and you decided to buy their idea, you decided to subscribe to their rumors, you are going to justify their thoughts. But if you decide that they are going to speak and you are this guy who is going to focus on being the better version of yourself, they are going to find themselves on the embarrassment side. I challenge you to start that business. If they have been saying that you cannot give birth, I challenge you to go for that fertility test. If they are saying you cannot get married, I challenge you to go for that marriage. If they have been saying you can't do that business, I challenge you to go for that business. Good people, the story does not end here. I went for that test because my brother and my sister were calling and asking me if I can go to China. So I was like, if I go to Kisumu Avenue Hospital for that medical, foreigners medical, they are going to write into those forms, and my brother is going to ask for those forms. My sister is going to ask for those forms. At the end of the day, they are going to know I have HIV. And I'm not ready to deal with stigma to that level where everyone knows that you have HIV. So I had to go for a test, this rapid test. Of course, we have rapid test and we have that ELISA test of course, PCR tests, So I was like, let me go for this small test. After I confirm that I am clean, then I can proceed to go for that ELISA test. So when I found myself like I'm negative, good people, I proceeded to Kisumu Avenue Hospital, just adjacent or rather opposite to Kibuye Market. I went there, took medicals, and after 3 hours, they called me back. I went and picked my medicals, scanned, sent to my brother and my sister, and then things started moving at a speed. Before I could know, all documents were published, all documents were prepared, and I was ready to go to China. I came to China on a visit visa and stayed here like 4 months before I went for a work visa. Of course, before you get a work visa, you need to go for medicals in Beijing hospital or other hospitals around China. But there are those specific hospitals that foreigners go for tests. And among the medication or the checkups that are being done there, they are going to do ECG test, they are going to do chest scan, they are going to take blood samples to go and do some tests, of course. And they went to do for those tests, and the results came out, and I was clean. I proceeded and got my work visa and started working in China. After a few days or a few weeks, I started getting calls, I started getting messages from friends back at home, and they asked me some questions. Kelvin, we have been told all along that you have HIV. How does it happen that you went to China and you are working in China? And we have tried to research, and we found that anyone who goes to get a visa abroad, you need to do medicals. How did you make it without medicals? So most of them who are lucky enough, I could send them the PDF or the file or the document of my medication or rather medical report. And they could, Kevin, are you sure? I sent them the medical report of Kenya, Kisumu Avenue Hospital. At the same time, I sent them the medical report of Beijing Hospital in China. So some of them were like, good, like, Kevin, do you know your story that is being said here? I usually tell them, yes, I know what is being said about me. I know what is being said about me, and they are not wrong. They are right. Because at some point, even me myself, I doubted myself because I was thin. My mouth was red. I had skin rash. So I had every reason to believe that I'm HIV positive. But then the tests came and proved us wrong. I found myself HIV negative. Good people, if you find yourself on the end of rumor mongers, naysayers, or kamatiaro chafu, you are this guy who likes talking much about the lives of other people, please desist from that. I challenge you, or rather, I just ask you, it is not late to leave that nonsense. Don't be this guy who likes talking about the lives of other people. I beg you, for God's sake. I have suffered, and I use this channel to talk about, of course, what I've just narrated today. This is a very sensitive story, a very sensitive topic. And I would not wish even my enemies to go through the same thing that I went through. So good people, as you watch this content, as you subscribe, as you comment, as you drop that comment, please allow me or be part of this team that is going around trying to stop stigmatization. I know of many people who have HIV, and they are leading good lives. They are on medication and they are continuing their lives as normal. And I know of people who don't have HIV, but they die daily on road accidents. They die daily on domestic violence. They die daily from food poisoning and many others. So today I've given you that story. Please get a lesson from that story. If you can share this story to your loved ones, because I believe it's going to make a change in someone who has been this person who likes going around sharing wrong stories. It's going to motivate someone who is going through the same thing that I went through. Someone who has been there, you are negative and people are talking bad about you. You are positive and people are talking bad about you. You have not done something, but people just decide to taint your reputation. Please share this content so that it can bring that change that we have been asking for. How are we going to change this world? We are going to change by talking, by preaching, by going around spreading good news. Good people, allow me to conclude this video by saying our deeds should be of making this world a better place and not barriers to comprehension.